Hi, my name's Toby.
And I'm Dante.
Chances are, if you're a student in a New York City public school, you've heard this.
The Fitnessgram PACER test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test.
The Fitnessgram is an annual mandate of school districts across the country and around the world which measures the fitness of elementary, middle, and high school students. At the beginning of each school year, students complete tests involving sit-ups, push-ups, curl-ups, trunk lifts, sit-and reaches, and most famous of all, the PACER.
While most of these tests are self-explanatory, the PACER test is unique to the Fitnessgram and involves running back and forth across a gym at a constantly increasing pace, running as long as possible until you can't make it across before the signal. The scores from all these tests are combined and sent home in the form of a fitness report card.
Since the Fitnessgram is mandated and often, hated, it has become an icon in the culture of schools which complete it. Tons of memes have been made, as well as edits of the instruction tapes, and students from around the world have memorized the instructions for the PACER test.
The Fitnessgram PACER test
is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test
that progressively gets more difficult as it continues.
On your mark, get ready, start. And then some weird music.
A memory I have taking the Fitnessgram is people trying to walk out or successfully walking out.
The Fitnessgram PACER test is what I'm assuming was a punishment like Guantanamo Bay.
I don't remember it being very accurate, but I do have fun memories of it.
Personally, I compare it to The Myth of Sisyphus by Camus.
I was running the PACER test. I actually heard students remarking that I ran like a gazelle.
Today our goal is to find out who is the person that narrates the PACER test.
Dante and I sat down and got to work. We did our best to find out who the voice could be, but after hours of searching, all we had found were some rumors and dead ends. It seemed like nobody knew who the voice was, and if they did, they certainly didn't want to reveal it.
Eventually, we decided it would be best to reach out to the creators of the Fitnessgram themselves, the Cooper Institute. Done.
Boom, skidoosh. Alright, we'll send this email and see what they respond.
Sounds good. Alright, so we just received the holy grail, the email that every filmmaker wants to read.
The email that ends all emails, one which says that they are interested in it.
Yes, so apparently the higher-ups of the higher-ups want to collaborate with us on this. So we're going to try to get the inside scoop on what's going on at the Cooper Institute.
Dante and I were ecstatic. Over the next week, we were in constant communication with the head of public relations at the Cooper Institute, and eventually, we decided to have a chat over the phone.
After school ended, we found a soundproof office and started to prepare for the call. Toby was freaking out, and I was calm and collected, but we knew that this call would make or break the documentary.
This is Amber.
Hi, it's Dante and Toby. We're from the Beacon School. We emailed about filming a documentary.
Yes, how are you?
We're good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Alright, so I'll tell you a couple things. For starters, I don't know who the guy is. I'd have to do a little bit of research internally to find out.
Okay.
So I'll have to ask around and talk to some people who've been here a significant amount of time and find out who that guy is. They've been using that voice forever.
I know, it's very iconic.
It is, and it's changing. We've
Is
already
it?
redone the entire PACER test cadence.
Wow.
And we're piloting it with a school here in Frisco, RSD right now.
Oh, man.
And we are planning on launching it in, end of April. We're planning on launching the new one. It's a big collaboration with Hip Hop Public Health, so it's going to have a lot fresher. It's going to be completely different.
We had no idea it would be such a great time to make a PACER test documentary. All right, perfect. Thank you
so much.
Okay. All right. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye. Title: The voice of the Fitnessgram PACER test is going away.
And soon enough, Amber came through for us. Just a few days later, we sat down to interview the mysterious, yet incredibly famous voice of the Fitnessgram.
Are we doing this?
We're doing it.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yo.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello there. Do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great.
There's the voice.
Yeah, the Fitnessgram PACER test. Hi, my name is Roger Francisco, and I'm the original voice of the PACER test, and I'm currently retired from Human Kinetics after 20 years of being the audio services manager there. What can I do for you?
So just a little bit of context. Since Toby and I were in like 3rd grade, I want to say, every year we've heard your voice for the Fitnessgram PACER test, and the rest of the Fitnessgram as well, which is equally iconic as it is stress-inducing.
I understand. Yeah, I get a lot of that.
Yeah, so we just really wanted to meet you.
Well, kind of my professional life has been pretty circuitous. Kind of one thing leads to another. I started out coming to the University of Illinois in engineering. I was going to be an electrical engineer. Okay, I'd also had been a musician. I was in high school orchestra, played bass, symphony bass, and in the Springfield Symphony Orchestra there. And when I moved over here, signed up with the Musicians Union, and then I would get somebody needed a bass player, they call a union. Oh, okay, I'll fill in for that. And I got involved with several groups. And with one group, we had a chance to be in about 1960 or so. The rock group I was with got a small recording contract. So we had the opportunity to go down to Nashville, record in one of the studios there. I thought, man, this is really cool stuff. Because I'd worked in a radio station during high school. In fact, I had to get a permit from the state to work there at age 14. So I got more interested because I was going to be a radio announcer back then. That was really cool. But I got really interested with the guys on the other side of the glass. As I came to the University of Illinois, I got a hook up with a fellow I'd worked with at the radio station, had transferred over to the university PBS station. Or it wasn't PBS then, it was called National Educational Television. And so I got a job running audio there for their programming. That became my interest in that. And with the group I recorded in Nashville, I thought, man, this is pretty cool. I could put something together and maybe write some songs and get those going. So I put a little, very small thing in my basement in the house that I was living at the time. And then I start recording some stuff, and other groups say, hey, you've got a recording setup, can we record some demos? Well, sure, come on in. I ended up setting up, doing more and more of those groups, and got a deal with the pressing company in Chicago. Oh, here's a package. You come in and record songs and get 145 records for $100. Somebody said, well, could you record some radio commercials? Well, sure, I guess so. I could do that and bring some people in. And then I just started doing, well, I'll go ahead and read some of this stuff. So I started recording lots of commercials, and because I had the studio, well, you could record a jingle. Okay, we can do that. And so that kind of led, and I just outgrew the house. And so I got a place to renovate, and eventually built up into a multi-track studio there and recorded a lot of the groups from around here in Illinois. So I got a call from the local McDonald's store. Hey, would you come in and with our advertising? Okay, I guess I could do that. So I went over there and ended up doing the whole regional McDonald's advertising, radio commercials, newspaper ads, even the Ronald McDonald appearances. I had the sax player in one of my bands did a great Ronald McDonald, so we would have those over the area, all the way from Springfield to Danville. From that, we went into partnership with the local newspaper. And at that point, Human Kinetics became our #1 client. That was our highest grossing client. So for about 5 years, 6 years, we were doing that. And Reiner Martin, who's the founder and owner of it, kept wanting us, why don't you guys come over here? They were using a print producer as a video producer, and so they have a new one every year because they just don't get it. Print and video is something different. So he finally made us an offer we couldn't refuse in about mid-90s. So we came over there, and he said, well, how much do you want? Wrote down that. Okay. What kind of equipment do you need? Long list. Okay, come over here, go ahead and order it. And so we did. With human kinetics, it was just the PACER test, and it was just, I did that, and then it was out there. And then a couple of years ago, somebody put me on, and I'd never even looked about it. Hey, man, you're all over the internet. What are you talking about? So, haven't you seen the memes for the PACER test? What's a meme? I started looking at those, and it's amazing how many of those things are on there. Mostly the SpongeBob SquarePants. I didn't really realize the impact until somebody told me to look at the memes. It's a project I did back then, put it together, and then went on to the next ones. And I knew that, my grandkids had run in, oh yeah, we had to do this at school. And as I mentioned, other kids not believing my grandkids that was their grandpa reading the PACER test. And I've, for your other question, no, I have not tried to do the PACER test. I would have to slow it way down. The Fitnessgram PACER test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. The 20-meter PACER test will begin in 30 seconds. Line up at the start. The running speed starts slowly but gets faster each minute after you hear this signal. A single lap should be completed each time you hear this sound. Remember to run in a straight line and run as long as possible. The second time you fail to complete a lap before the sound, your test is over. The test will begin on the word start. On your mark, get ready, start.
Shivers.
Yes! Oh my God, that was so exciting.
That was the best way you could have done it. I was about to ask you to do it.
I know. How long can you say up, down, up, down for 20 minutes? Actually, you only recorded it once and then just dropped it in all the way through the timeline. I'm sorry if you're traumatized by the test. If I was just doing a job reading, it's not my fault. But no, just there must be a purpose for it, so try your best with it.
So, just who is responsible for the Fitnessgram, and what is its purpose? Just as we were getting closer to understanding this infamous test, everything came crashing down.
The deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
The governor confirming that coronavirus has arrived here in Manhattan.
Mayor de Blasio announced all New York City public schools will be closed for the next 5 weeks.
The New York City public schools will remain closed for the remainder of this school year.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, Toby. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. This is a little bit different, definitely.
Unexpected for sure. But this is how we're doing things now, I guess.
Yeah, the rest of the documentary, we're going to be screen recording and figuring this out. But it'll be interesting. I think we can still make it work. So you spoke with Amber, who's our contact at the Cooper Institute, which is kind of crazy. We took a break. And I wasn't sure if she was going to respond, but you had a phone call with her.
Yeah, a lot of new information. So first, we thought we were going to get this interview with this guy, The Voice. All right, so that's our big thing. Turns out she's getting us, or trying to get us, some other interviews as well. This guy, Dr. Charles Sterling, who's the so-called father of the Fitnessgram.
All right, that's
kind of like a celebrity within that company. Also, they've been partnering with Hip Hop Public Health.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so the CEO of that company, supposedly super excited to do an interview with us. We're kind of popular over there.
Oh my God.
And, maybe we can get an interview with the artists.
Dude, that's amazing. And she just kind of dropped this bomb.
Yeah, very casually, I might add. We were just talking. She goes, oh, by the way, 5 more interviews we can do.
Not only were we back on track, we had more interviews to conduct. So Dante and I sat down with Dr. Charles Sterling and Dr. Mary Lou Meredith, two figures who were instrumental in the creation and growth of the Fitnessgram, to learn more about the origins of the test.
My name is Charles Sterling.
My name's Mary Lou Meredith.
I am 75 years young, and people often comment that I was the father of Fitnessgram.
I worked in the school district in Richardson for 10 years, and then I followed Dr. Sterling out to the Cooper Institute to begin working on Fitnessgram, and I was the director of Fitnessgram for 30 some odd years.
I think it's important to take away from this. Yes, I started Fitnessgram. I did the first one, and of course it's gone crazy, but there's so many other people that's been on this team. This is not about me.
Dr. Sterling was a very creative person. He thought out of the box. He was the brains behind the operation. I did all the work, but he was also a very good negotiator, and he's the one that would negotiate the contracts with the sponsors.
We had this really strong sponsorship team that continued to carry it forward. Let me mention what was different back then in the old day. There wasn't a lot of priority given to physical education.
Now, I mean, a lot of people exercise on a regular basis, whereas used to, I mean, you didn't find gyms on every corner years ago.
Obesity in youth began to become obvious. And that happened about the same time as fast food stores began to open up. That's when we became very motivated and decided to get a team together and start talking about health-related fitness.
We kind of rode along on the coattails of the whole cultural shift in more of an emphasis on being active and exercising and being healthy and taking responsibility for your own health.
And once it got to the parents, they said, gee, I want to see if my son or daughter is in a healthy zone.
The focus on health-related fitness was really what separated us. I mean, all the other assessments were really focused on high-level performance.
That's what it used to be, is competing athletically with fellow students. And that's where we got away from that. And we got data and said, okay, if you can do the PACER or the mile run in this time, we scientists believe that you're in the healthy zone. You're healthy. Now, if you can't do that, you needs improvement. And that's what we would say, you needs improvement. So you're either in the healthy zone or you needs improvement. But it's not like, oh, I'm the fastest in the class. I'm so good. I'm going to be on the track team because I'm athletic.
I was not an athlete. I was a dancer. So I think the fact that we were focused on health-related fitness, we set the standards so that they were achievable by most students who were active on a regular basis. That really attracted me.
So many principals of schools would say to, we want that program. We're going to get it next year. Yeah. We hear from the adults saying, do you have something for us like this?
If you had taken a fitness test and the only way you could feel like you had been successful was to achieve this high-level standard, you probably never, ever would have felt like you were successful in that test. But with Fitnessgram, with the standards set the way they are, if you're willing to be active, then you should be able to achieve those minimal standards. And that's all we ask of you. We used to tell them, once you get to the standard or somewhere, within the healthy fitness zone, stop your test. Don't keep it going forever and ever and ever for one kid to max it out. I think the main thing they need to learn from taking the Fitnessgram or from taking any fitness assessment is, one, I hope that they are being able to be successful in taking that test. And that the thing they need to learn from this all of their physical education experiences is that they need to be active on a regular basis the rest of their life.
When you have your health, you can do a lot of things. Keep believing and keep health as a major priority in your life.
It's all about the physical activity. So much more so than it is about their fitness level. It's about the physical activity.
It'll work. Way to go, guys. I'm really proud of you.
Now that we had met some of the incredible people behind the classic Fitnessgram, we interviewed Lori Benson, the CEO of Hip Hop Public Health, to learn more about the new, remixed version of the test.
Hi, my name is Lori Rose Benson, and I'm the Executive Director and CEO of Hip Hop Public Health. I also used to be the Executive Director of the Office of School Wellness Programs for the New York City Department of Education.
Quick side note here, Lori Benson actually played a key role in bringing the Fitnessgram to New York City in the first place.
I've always wanted to have a little bit of a different soundtrack from 20 years ago. And so to see this come to fruition has just been so much fun.
So, what does everyone think about this new cadence?
I will start this PACER test track for you guys so y'all can have a listen to it and see what y'all think.
It's now time to assess aerobic capacity with the Fitnessgram 20-meter PACER test.
So who's ready to get active? The goal is to complete as many laps as possible by running across the line before you hear each sound.
The running speed will slowly go faster each time you hear this signal.
There's a catch though.
Your lap doesn't count if your body doesn't cross the line before you hear this sound.
Do your best.
Have fun.
Are you ready?
Get set.
Go!
Fitness and fun. We don't concentrate on it too much. It's so fun. Why not?
1.
Here we go. I see.
I can see the demographic for that. Exactly. So, yeah.
Hey, that's cool.
The beat of that music is very strong.
Makes me want to put my shoes on.
And what's fun is that there's 2 mostly instrumental tracks where we took out the laps and the levels and the beeps. So it's almost like a party. So it's a 22-minute long progressive dance party. You could use that for young people to get socialized to the music. You could use it for a party. You could use it for any kind of fitness activity. I think right now there's like a great opportunity to reimagine and reinvent, right? And I think the more positive associations we can have with physical activity, the more people will embrace physical activity in their lives when they're not in school, right? And so I'm really excited to hear what young people have to say about the new PACER remix.
The Fitnessgram is an icon of pop culture, and while it may be changing, it will never lose its significance in the lives of the students who completed it throughout their childhoods. The Fitnessgram started a health revolution, and it ensures that our youngest generation is staying healthy, all while making it as fun as possible.
The Fitnessgram is poised to see a new wave of interest with its updated tracks and increased availability, and we were so incredibly lucky to be some of the first students to see these changes. Who knows, maybe a new wave of memes and edits are on their way. We'll just have to wait and see.